Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a quick message for you. Bottom of the deck, where I stopped shuffling, we have the World card, which is the ending of old life cycles and the beginning of new ones. So we can kind of see where that takes us today and see what comes up. Now, I was torn as to whether or not I would mention this, but earlier today I was minding my business, cooking my breakfast, and I heard, you're whack, you're twisted, your girl's a hoe, you broke, the kid ain't yours, and everybody know. And we know that that's the Honorable DMX. Now, when I went to look it up to listen to it, because that used to be my joint, I realized that it's called Party Down, and I did not know that. All I remember is Meet Me Outside, which everybody remembers. Meet me outside, meet me outside. And that's honestly what I kind of referred to that song as. But I realized it was called Party Down, so what I heard then was party down now, pay up later. That's what I heard. So given that that line that popped up, and you know, the karmic times that we're in, and also with the World card finishing up old cycles, and you know, then the channel message of party down now, party pay up later. We'll see what comes up. So here we go with that Six of Wands, which is about victory and success. And then what popped out right after was the Page of Swords, who we know from historical experiences that the Page of Swords is usually some type of watcher. He's looking upon something from a distance, and we have the King of Cups here and the Ace of Swords right underneath, so that says a lot. Okay, there's some confusion that's about to be clarified, and the King of Cups may be the energy looking from abroad, and how he's crossing paths with this Six of Wands, someone who's in motion en route to victory and success, or on the path of victory and success. We'll see what comes up, but I feel like there is this Page of Swords may be looking to obstruct the truth and clarity that's coming to this person by way of some emotional distraction of sorts, you know. But let's keep going, because that's the King of Cups next to the Ace of Swords, which I would like to read as upright, but with me seeing that Seven of Cups in the background, you know, I don't know. But usually my first instinct is right. So let's see what this is. Okay. and okay. Now y'all just saw me shuffle, right? Okay, let's slow this down a second. Let's see what the hell's going on here. All right, so we got the King of Cups. Now, the King of Cups is either watching himself, or I just feel like sending watchers, like sending spies and people to look upon a situation or person. Let's see here. Yeah. Because we still got the Ace of Swords, but to me, that's just giving divine clarity and truth. This is a higher octave than this sword, and if we're considering these two connected, then I can't really give this King of Cups credit for this Ace of Swords. I feel like his energy is more obstructive to the truth, as I said before, or he is obstructed from the truth, one or the other, than it is him bringing some message, because pages can also be messages, or transferring energy, transferring information, relaying information. But usually the Page of Swords energy is usually, let me not say definitely, is usually some type of spying or lurking energy. And then we got the Justice card here, and the Empress. Okay, so let's see, what are these three giving me? This is divine clarity and truth. This is illusions, confusion, perhaps being cleared up from, or exposure of some Yeah, this is like third party situations. So maybe some energies that have been creating confusion or illusion are not only being brought to justice, but are being exposed. You know, the truth of some behind the scenes, uh, let's see, behind the scenes, yeah. And then we got the Three of Cups with the King of Cups. So yeah, the King of Cups, I feel like it might be an energy that hasn't been up to much good. He's been finessing a lot of ladies, causing a lot of confusion and delusion within the feminine energy, by way of his ability to finesse or manipulate emotional energy, you know, maybe promising a lot of people some aspect of, you know, himself in an intimate way, or maybe even spreading himself thin, quite honestly, in some type of intimate. Oh boy. When you think about spreading yourself thin in an intimate way, and with this card coming up where it's all types of stuff in these cups, you know, it's a lizard or a dragon, it's a snake, you know, it's a sandcastle, a mushroom, which definitely gives me, you know, extracurricular activities by way of diabolical medicinals. Not that mushrooms themselves are necessarily diabolical, but with the energy that I'm getting, I'm just reading it how I feel. King of Swords is not, I mean, the King of Cups is not on the up and up. And maybe he's sending out, or he's looking from afar because perhaps he's kind of in hiding, or definitely in seclusion because of some of the energies that he's been involved in now, you know, being exposed. You know, this could be gossip, people talking about some truth that's come to light. And he's maybe looking from afar to see what the news is, or see if people that matter to him have been privy to that information yet, so that he can know what moves are available for him to make. So this could be a love interest that's being, you know, caught out there in some type of way, and they want to know, you know, that he's looking backwards and he wants to know, has the news traveled about his situation? You know, has the gossip spent the block yet about what he's been into energetically? And with this, I feel even something more diabolic with these three ladies and these cups. This isn't just him spreading himself thin. It is that, but it's also, like I said before, like spreading these feminine energies thin. Maybe what's the right word for it? Not, yes, manipulation, but also I can't think of the word for it. Like pimping, pretty much. You know what I mean? Like you see this pimp cup right here, literally pimping these energies. May not be physically, although keep in mind I said, you know, when you're spreading yourself thin, there's an opportunity to spread STDs, not just sexually transmitted diseases, but also spiritually transmitted diseases, which definitely is what's given me here. That there's been some underground something or another. I don't even know if I want to keep tapping into it. But what did I say? You whack, you twisted, your girls up, you broke, the kid ain't yours, and everybody know the truth is coming out about some energies. Page of Swords can also be a childlike energy, so maybe there's that, you know, that the truth is just out and in the streets about what's been going on in this group of people, you know, whether it be the King of Cups as the star of, you know, the gossip, or just this group that he's been associated with or connected to in one way or another. But I get the sense that he's definitely been in some type of prominent role or leadership within this situation, because he's the only king here, you know. And here's the Justice card, which signifies some authoritative position. But for me, This is outside of the King of Cups. This is like the justice for this foolishness, coming to light, and I don't know what the Empress has to do with it just yet. The Empress could be, maybe, I'm gonna reserve that. Let's see what else comes out, because I'm sticking on it. I ain't even come here for this. Damn, DMX. You messy from the grave, huh? Wow. You gotta watch your connections out here, because I think a lot of things that have been done in the dark are coming to light, and when that light turns on, the roaches scatter. Oh, snaps. What? Wow. Wow.
What did you say?
I'm not talking to you. I'm on my video. Get out. He just trying to ruin my flow. King of Swords and the Devil. I guess because I usually don't be this, animated, but this is wild, because this wild. But it is what it is. So the King of Swords and the Devil, and this is addictions, this is obsessions. What I was saying earlier about, just diabolical energy. And the King of Swords, there's some, in this case, it could be, as I said, the truth of the King of Swords as by way of the King of Cups coming to light. Like the true essence of this dark nature of the King of Swords, especially with this cup here. He don't want to drink that cup, because that cup is full of what he's been pouring for others. So all those girls that was, partying with their drinks and everything, he's been filling their cups up with a whole bunch of nonsense. And now, as I said in the beginning, it's the World card, the end of a cycle, the beginning of a new one, almost karmic in a sense, which I believe I also said. So it's like now everything that you poured up for others to drink, or even if you were enjoying the festivities while they lasted, at the time, now it's like that cup is not so fulfilling anymore. The cup is not as sweet as it once was at this point, this stage in time, when what you were doing was kind of, under the radar, and it was just fun, and nobody, people obviously were getting hurt, but nobody necessarily knew how much they were being harmed or hurt. And those that were in on it were benefiting from the energies that they were, creating together, until the cat kind of got out the bag in some way, shape, or form. And now those that you wouldn't want to know, like I said, he wants to know who knows about his shenanigans. The ones that you wouldn't want to know now know, and it's a poor reflection on this character that you present publicly, because the King of Swords, he's a prestigious character. He's a expert in his field. He's the top dog in a lot of ways as far as energy is concerned, amongst the kings. And there's a certain presentation that he gives, as far as, he at least in this instance, is proposing to wield the sword of truth. But what happens when all of your dirty laundry is aired out? Then all that energy that you projected as this, perfect guy that's on top of your game, and that's super smart, and that's a go-getter, and they're very what's the right word, I can't think of it right now, but they're not one to lose, very determined and dynamic individuals in a high vibration. But now this diabolical energy is coming to light, and it's like it's a hard pill to swallow. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's hard to look in the mirror. Maybe there's bits of rejection that are happening. Yep, look at this. Nine of Wands, which came up yesterday, and here's the Queen of Pentacles. What's she talking about? See, it's always some feminine energy, and I'm just gonna, just like the Empress had come up, I feel like there's the energy of the past of this particular person has caught up in such a way that it's making it hard for him to regroup and actually get on the path to success. This I'm picking this up as a feminine too, but get on the path to true success that he may actually desire to be on now. But there's been so much dirt done under the surface and in the dark, so to speak, that once upon a time was containable some type of way. There was maybe he was able to finesse his way through it, by keeping those energies contained, and everybody kind of had something to lose, so nobody was necessarily going to dime out the other. But now it's like everything is out in the open, dirty laundry exposed, no holes barred, and that information, that intel can't be contained in the way that it once used to be, and it's messing up the present projection that this particular individual would like to, the trajectory he would like to be on. So maybe, like I said, it was fun while it lasted, but it ain't fun no more. And he would like to move in a more prosperous energy, with more productive collaborations, even though this one could be considered dark too, but in this vibration, consider it being productive and wanting to, start off fresh, with a fresh cup. But every time he tries to start off on a fresh start, a fish pops out of that cup, and that fish is from the past experiences, some exposure of the past, some maybe one of those ladies that pops up like, hold up. He trying to move on, leave the hoes in the past. Sorry, hoes. And every time he's trying, it's just the past catching up. See, this is the eight of wands. Like, this is energy that's just fast moving. You can't even contain this flow. And it's not really even because of the individuals, which I'm sure he would probably want to blame for his demise, at this time, because if it were up to him, it'd be kept secret or contained some type of way. But it's just the spirit of the times now, where everybody's under judgment. There's nothing that can really truly be under the radar at this time, because we've all sown some semblance of seed in the ground, in our lives, and the harvest is just yielding the fruit from which you've sown. So it's popping up in exponential forms, and abundantly so, according to what you've sown. So you could have sown loving seeds and honest seeds, and been in truth with your collaborations, and honor with your collaborations, and with how you particularly masculines. Maybe it's just a masculine thing and not a particular person, but the masculine energies that have been misusing the feminine energy, or abusing their masculine power, their authoritative power, and taking advantage of the feminine nature, to create and manifest as we do, and, objectifying the feminine energy and subjectifying it to their power, and to the things that, possessing it in a way that is prosperous for him holistically, but that's not really beneficial to them, and that's a universal aspect, as we know, universally there's a balancing act happening between masculine and feminine energy. But certainly on some personal scale, maybe perhaps in your life, there are individuals that are looking back at you, seeing you on your high horse, or seeing you doing well, or once upon a, this might be an old relationship. What is this? Another monitoring spirit, looking like a mosquito. Perhaps seeing you moving on, moving forward in some successful way, or prosperous way, or just peaceful way. And a lot of guys, especially when we're talking about propositions of partnership that are arising now, a lot of guys that have passed on energies that were maybe not vibing on the party and bullshit type time that they were on, they kind of left them to the wayside, like, I'll be back, or for some just feeling like, what they were experiencing on more of these octaves and vibrations of, just operating in your lower nature, not necessarily in a diabolical way, but definitely catering more to your flesh and your carnal senses to be satisfied more sensationally than spiritually. There was a split between a lot of connections where the masculine and maybe sometimes the feminine wanted to go one way and the other was pulled the other way. But now there's a settling universally that's happening, and an unveiling and revelations across the land of where what those seeds have yielded. So those that sow more into their spiritual nature are yielding more abundant harvest, even in the physical and material sense. And those that sold more into their carnal nature are also yielding an abundant harvest, but more in the adverse essence. You know what I mean? Again, according to what was sown. So like in the beginning, when I was saying that 7 of Cups, it's like this plethora of, options that aren't all good. It's like 1 or 2 of those 7 of Cups that's half decent. One has jewels, one has, something else, but for the most part, it's very clear that there's been something detrimental in those cups and in those choices. And in these past seasons, particularly over the past 7 to 10 years, we've all been given the choice as to how we would want to sow with the options we were given. So even if it seemed like we had very few resources and options to work with, what you did with it is what made all the difference. Some masculines in particular had hella choices and hella options, but they got swept up in, confusion, that 7 of Cups, and delusion even about themselves, this energy here, and almost, how do you say, like grandize, I don't know how to say that word, like inflated their authority and their power, particularly over feminine energy. So like I said, they saw opportunities to manipulate that energy for their advancement, instead of nurturing that energy and honorably. And not everybody, of course, but I'm speaking very generally and universally that this is the balancing that's happening, that the truth of that sowing is coming to light, not just for the sower, but also for on the outside looking in. So a lot of even the feminines are seeing now in real time that their rejection was their protection, ultimately, and that those connections that perhaps they may have once desired or yearned for were actually, this is rejection here. It was actually good that they were rejected or that the connection was derailed. Otherwise, they might find themselves in that 3 of Cups energy, swept away in the current, and ultimately drop down into their lower natures to now pull yourself up, by the bootstraps, if you can, with the devil on your back. You know what I mean? So it's crazy, boy. Let's see. Yep, and this is greed, overindulgence. That's the King of Cups there. He was doing too much. And a lot of masculine energies were doing too much and not following their inner light and inner guidance. They were following what felt good, what looked good, what, tasted good, what smelled good, but ultimately what felt and looked good. Let's not get too crazy, right? But they were following the obsessions of their human nature, and being possessed in that regard, not by the truth of their divine essence, the highest vibration of their truth. This card is on top of that. That was almost overshadowed and overpowered and, kind of lost in their own drunkenness. And that's what I was saying before with the 7 of Cups. This is the 9 of Cups. that overindulgence, doing too much, drinking too much, sexing too much with the Three of Cups, drugging too much, again with the Seven of Cups, when I was saying the mushroom in the cup. And somewhere along the line, it's like their guides, their guides, their way showers, their guides were trying to keep them on the path. Like literally, that's a star in that lantern. It's like, this is him in the lantern. And this is your spirit guides trying to lead you on the path of truth from your inner light. But there was so much, it was so dark at times on the inside that they weren't able to get through. The energies above weren't able to get through for the current being swept away below. Literally, your higher nature and your lower nature being swept away by your lower self. So let's see, that was the World card again. Yeah, so it's overindulgence here, and like I said, it's greed, wanting to keep all the energy for yourself. Consider that Three of Cups again, like you hoarding cups everywhere you go. These feminines here, that feminine there, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be a sexual thing. It's more energetic and even spiritual than anything. When you're just I'm trying to find the right word. It'll probably come to me when I watch it back. But when you're like just over, like manipulating, I'll just literally see the energy of like drinking other people's energy, like vampirizing almost. Wow. Vampirizing on other people's energies, particularly feminine energy, to manifest and, overindulging in the feminine aspect to help magnify your manifestations, but not for a universal good, for a personal good, a very selfish good. Yeah, and here's the Moon card. That's what was being done in the dark, in emotions, probably leaving a trail of tears all over the world, or at least everywhere he went, of broken promises and, missed opportunities. Yeah. Five of Swords, destruction, defeat, demise, breaking up happy homes. That's a home here. Death, straight up death. And that's not in the transformational sense. It is in the sense because he probably did transform a lot of energies in a negative aspect, leaving a lot of grief and depression in his path from, and there's back to, coming and going, having a woman in every port, as the old folks used to say. But yeah, leaving a trail of tears behind you and a trail of destruction everywhere you go, lies and deceit, just really not taking care of creation, by way of the feminine energy, and ultimately even within self, because if you are treating others that way, it's always a seed you're sowing internally. So you're damaging, Three of Swords, heartbreak, you're damaging yourself just as much. That's hence where we are now, Ten of Swords, where all of this energy is coming back to the surface. And maybe he has turned over a new leaf and wants to, love more genuinely and more purely. He's really looking to be his true self, his honorable self. But everything, all the swords that you stabbed in other people's backs are now coming back to you. All that energy that you expelled, all these cards that I see, all the energy you expelled has to go, it has to come up somewhere. And if it came from you, it's coming back to you. You're whack, you're twisted, your girls are, you broke, the kid ain't yours, and everybody know. I hope that's not true for somebody. Wow. And this is past energy. As I was saying, like, look, he's on his way out, but these are all the investments that he made, right? And with the Seven of Pentacles, sometimes that can be, ideally it's about making wise investments, but I always see, and he has to protect himself everywhere he goes, because these are the seeds that he's sown along the way. And although he's trying to turn over a new leaf, or tried to, perhaps, or has the mind to turn over a new leaf, which I still would like to insert that with the energy that's been persistent, I highly doubt that it's turning over a new leaf in the most honorable fashion. I get the sense that it's still a manipulative act, you know, him still trying to find some way to overcome his discomfort by perhaps finding some, you know, either reuniting with some old energy, because that's what this card gives here. This is like a past love, even a past life love, you know, that was here and now has, you know, that it's trying to be reclaimed or resurfaced, you know, and you're trying to bring back this, you know, this sweet, equal give and take type energy, you know, where life is sweet and love is lovely, but you cannot surpass the investments that you've made. You have to at least uproot those energies and perhaps burn them. I don't know, do whatever. Maybe you got to eat it. I don't know. In this day and age, you probably got to eat it before you can do anything else with it. But you definitely can't bypass it for the sake of some newer harvest. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You have to be accountable for the seeds that you've sown, and that's everybody, good, bad, and indifferent. Let's see what's up on the other side of this Six of Cups. Yeah, he's trying to walk away to some new beginning, but you know, trying to get that old thing back perhaps. So ladies, be careful of, you know, old lovers coming back telling you how much they changed, they learned the error, they ways, they realized, you know, what they missed out on. Yeah, that was the rejection cup. It's a no thank you, more than likely. I can't speak for every energy, but if it's anything close to this where you know, they was living la vida loca, even if you don't know for sure, but your intuition tells you there was some imbalance, you would want to really allow there to be some space and time for that energy to prove itself to you to be valuable, and still seek your own inner truth before you just take the word for it, or even following your heart, because your heart can lead you in this space of nostalgia where, you know, you would want to wishfully believe that they have found themselves, you know, and that perhaps the love that you once had, or the energy that you once shared, could be revived. But in this day and age, I'm telling you, you got to be careful, because karma is contagious, and you could be completely on the up and up with the universe and align with some other force, and then you swept up into somebody else's foolishness. And it could be as practical as you get back with somebody that still has, you know, baggage that he hasn't completely taken out to the trash. And now people are harassing you, coming to your door, you know, calling your phone, you know, playing on your phone, like silly stuff, you know, or stalking him. So you're caught in the crossfire, because they won't let it go. And rightfully so, as far as these energies are concerned. They may have good reason not to want to let go. And that's the Ten of Cups. And that's ultimately what everybody wants, this wish fulfillment energy. But look, this falls short by half in this energy. So they may come to you offering you this happily ever after, you know, some promise of it anyway, or it might evoke a feeling, an emotion, because remember, we're talking about the King of Cups. He knows how to manipulate emotions, make you feel good, make you feel something, or pull on some old energy that you once had for him, some old affinity that you may have had for him in the past. Try to evoke that energy again and project it into some future promise. But ultimately, this is the energy that he's in. And this energy is absolutely contagious. Depression, defeat, self-destruction, remorse, regret, shame, guilt. You know, if a person hasn't dealt with, you know, the seeds that they've sown accordingly, yeah, if they haven't dealt with that, it's too little too late. And that means that they haven't fully healed, you know, like if you haven't even uprooted those seeds from that Seven of Pentacles card, you haven't even uprooted them yet to fully deal with them, and you still, you're still trying to bury them in the backyard, eventually they're going to rise to the top, and you're going to have to, that person is going to have to heal from that energy. And you can self-sacrifice if you want to and be that healing companion, but again, you will find yourself as a beneficiary of that anguish one way or another, whether it's in a practical sense, an emotional sense, an energetic sense, just feeling drained, trying to help somebody, trying to lift somebody else up out of their stuff, a financial sense, because that all definitely translates to a financial depression and oppression. Ultimately, you have to really decide, is your path of success and victory that you're undoubtedly traveling on worth the sacrifice, for so-called love? And I say so-called with all intentions. Has it proven itself to you in real time is the question. And we got the High Priestess. Who knows? The High Priestess is intuitive. She's balanced. She knows how to say yes. She knows how to say no. She listens to her inner light. She's very discerning about the energies that are coming her way. This is the Page of Pentacles, which would be an ideal offer and is stable in a sense. Again, as I said, some energies really have made a turnaround, but this is the biggest mismatch of them all. You're not even talking to a queen, you're talking to a high priestess. That's a different being, a different entity that you're speaking to. You can't bring no Knight of Pentacles to a high priestess when this is still your energy in the background, when you're still looking at, your past as if, it's, you're still looking at your past with that same level of regret and remorse and shame and energetic imbalance. She's completely balanced. You, if you're the feminine energy, are completely balanced. You've done a certain level of work and healing to bring yourself to a whole state of being. And it doesn't mean that you're religious or even necessarily spiritual, but it means that you have found an alignment with your energy, with your mind, body, and spirit in a way that makes sense for your life to bring you to an energetic space of victory and success. You're going to go from the Six of Wands to the 9 with somebody on account of a late-ass, little-ass offer? I wouldn't. Hell no. And look what's under the deck. Look at this. Nah. This is about being intentional about lying, deceiving. And that's what I was saying earlier. Like, in my spirit, I don't feel like even most of these so-called King of Cups that may be resurfacing to make some type of offer really have learned the error of their ways. They just trying to hit another lick and trying to, hit a higher vibration of a lick because they, like I said, they want to leave the hoes alone. They realize that doesn't yield much. It was a good time while it lasted, but they realize where it's true at. And that's the High Priestess. That's real divine energy right there. So they want to hit the biggest lick of their lives, coming back like, they're coming to balance out energy and stuff like that and bring you to their cup of love and, to make your life whole and complete. This is the presentation they'll give you, but all the while they're just looking to come up, or for some to survive, honestly, because some have depleted their energy in such a way that they couldn't even pull themselves up by the bootstraps if they tried. They need they need ethereal assistance. They need God. They need Jesus to help bring them out of this like diabolical space. And they're looking at her like it's going to be you with his late little ass offer to help him heal from this space and time. But all the while, he's not really as intentional about healing as he is about coming up, you know what I mean? Or I don't know, like hosting off your energy, literally. Like, again, back to that vampirizing and energy, literally vampirizing off of your energy so that he can survive, and with hopes of being put back in this position, the ultimate position of authority as the emperor. So he want to go from the king of cups, manipulating energy, to being in full reign of multiple kingdoms, because he knows that that's your destiny. He knows that's where you're headed. And if he can get attached to your energy ethereally, energetically, spiritually, then he has a better chance of putting himself on some exalted in some exalted position of power, at least over you, if nothing else, to control your energy and your manifestations, and attach himself to your blessings in some way, shape, or form, than he would have on his own, or even worse, with the energies that he got to this position with in the first place. And this is the energy, this competitive, chaotic, confusing energy. Up, and there's the Empress. That's who he would like to be attached to. But what's in between that? This is what's in between that. And he would be bringing all of this energy to you. Everything that he's running away from is coming to you and to your kingdom for you to deal with ultimately. And as women, that's what we do. We take on the burdens of our men, but it's kind of time's up for that. It's time for healed, and whole partnerships, not manipulative ones that are just looking to manifest for their own personal power and exaltation. Now, I love the King of Wands, but in this instance, this is energy that is just looking to, be in power and to exercise his passions in a more manipulative way than he has before, because one thing's for certain, he's addicted to his passions. This addiction has not been healed. That's been evident in the cards that have been coming up and under the deck. He's still in this nine of he might be less healed now than ever before, because at least when he was in the act of his obsessions and possessions, he was being like almost self-medicated and it numb to the reality. So he was kind of like a functioning, I want to say alcoholic, but like a functioning addict, so to speak. He was thriving within this energy, and apart to the fact that he still had your energy to look back upon with hope that, well, if all else fails, I can always come back to her. I can always get it from her if I can't get it nowhere else. But it's time's up for that. High priestesses are more sure of their power than ever before. And hoes is more sure of their position than ever before. And everybody is just acting in their organic vibration now. Everyone, based on the seeds that they've sown, now it's time for you to play out that role, for you to act it out. And so this King of Wands is really looking to find some peace and rest and comfort and prosperity and a new start, trying to reconnect with his spirit that he probably has been very disconnected from now. It most certainly has been with this anxiety and anguish card here. He wants to find his way back home to a stable home and environment and connection after this long journey to hell he's been on. But it's dead. It's dead. That's a dead end now. It's dead. He's transformed. You've transformed. The magic has worn off. The manipulation doesn't work. The veil has been lifted. The sun has risen. The moon is dark. You know what I mean? The moon is new. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't that no more. So it's like, not only do we feminines have to be careful to, and it could be masculines on this other, on the receiving end of these offers too. And there's the depression again. But ultimately, I'm speaking to the feminines because, that's the energy that really seems to be on the receiving end of this reading in particular. Protect your passion, protect your peace, wait for your divine partnership to show and prove itself. Don't take no wooden nickels. My last reading was that no wooden nickels, no brass rings. These offers that are coming up, popping up out of nowhere, wooden nickel, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't take it too soon before you've sifted it through your spiritual intel and your spiritual standards, then making sure that it's absolutely what you want for yourself. Yeah, like real home, real safety, real security, you know, something that's going to add value to your life, that's going to be sound, stable, you know, a partnership that is equal and balanced, that's on the same page. Now, sometimes the Two of Cups can also be platonic, and that's the sense here too, because the other day I also talked about clearing your energetic field, and many of us have. If you've been in the space of multiplied manifestations or prime for it, you've already done some work to kind of clear out your energy to prepare yourself for what's coming in. And that energy is like, it's like fresh, you know what I mean? It's like virgin blood for a narcissist, you know what I mean? For an energetic vampire. And so you want to be careful not to just be sharing your cup with anybody, friends, family, foes for sure, and partnerships, you know, and relationships, and boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, whatever the case may be. Anybody that's energetically draining you, you get to release them, you know, and you get to form new partnerships or be in sacred solitude until the partnership that is divine for you shows itself. And that's professionally and personally, you know, intimately and platonically, every way, shape, and form. You got to be careful how you are connecting your energy, because like I said, karma is contagious, and it may not even be for you to experience, but because you done hooked up with somebody who, you know, don't mean you no good, because they can't mean themselves any good. You know, a lot of people are trying to escape the healing process because it hurts. But if you're anything like me, you went through that hurt and pain. You've healed from it in a lot of ways, and there are all been new hurdles to surmount, but for the most part, the hardest part is behind you. I know it is for me. You know, it's all gas, no brakes for me now, you know, or, you know, break within reason if the spirit says so. If the spirit say stop, then damn it, I stop. But energetically speaking, there's nothing and no one that can hold me back. Not even past so-called what do you call it? What's the word? Past like betrayals. I couldn't get it out. Past betrayals, past cycles that were not in my best interest, hidden enemies, perhaps, you know, things that I aligned myself with that I didn't see the full value or lack thereof in, because I didn't see the full value of myself. You know, a lot of us have healed from these instances, and even as they're being revealed in their holistic form, like the truth of, because a lot of us have had the intel, you know, spiritually and psychically, to know the things that we've overcome and the things that have been keeping us blocked and bound. But now we're actually receiving the revelation in real time, like the actual factual receipts of what's been going on, high priestess status in our lives, to know exactly who to trust, exactly who's been for you and against you, who to realign with, who to release altogether, and so on and so forth. Who's going back? This is the end of that. This is a crossover moment from turbulent times to peaceful waters, crossing over into a promised land. Who's going back to despair and deceit and destruction and depression and oppression and obsession and addictions? We all had it. We all had these moments in our lives that we had to overcome. I had addictions. I was distracted at times. I was obsessed in different aspects of my life. We all face these energies, these spirits head on, face to face. But it wasn't about how perfect you you lived your life. It was just about how persistent you were with staying in integrity, staying connected to your true essence. Even when you falter or even when you fail, you got back up and tried again. You continuously look for the light, look for the way to cross over into peaceful, more calm waters, and always looking for peace in all that you did. Those were now the adverse of that were those that were looking to numb themselves to the healing and to actually, gorge themselves on other people's energy to bypass the healing process and, to just have a good time. I said in my last reading, party like a rock star. There were two different octaves of living life, and those were the seeds that were sown. So now that the harvest is here, you have to guard your harvest with your whole heart, with your whole existence, literally with your whole heart. And those that may even be receiving an unfavorable harvest, have no fear, no fret. As long as you have breath in your body, look at this. There's always an opportunity for you to choose the higher octave of yourself and to transmute this heartbreak energy and transition into true strength, that is self-attained and assured, not gaining off of the strength of others and monopolizing off of others' power, but you harnessing your own strength to finally and foreverly, hopefully, move past your hurt and your pain, because we all had experiences that brought us to this what do you call it? This confrontation of our lower nature. That's what this is right here. Your higher self, your true self, facing your darker self. What is it that you make of that energy? What is the star that comes out of that darkness? Who are you really? That healing, that's about healing. Who were you on the other side of that confrontation? Did you lay your sword of truth down to have a good time, for a good time and not a long time? Or did you hold the sword of truth high in hopes that it would lead you, to lead you through the battle, to a victory at the end of the battle? It was a very distinct decision process, And the point of the matter is not to judge anyone one way or the other. It's about protecting your power, your peace, your passion, your prosperity. Whatever it is that you've harvested at this point, on account of that process, is your responsibility to protect. Yep. And the sun card came out last time too, and I'm going to stop. To move forward victoriously. We were all on the battlefield. We still are. We're still on the battlefield, but some of us are fighting a different battle than others. Some of us are still fighting ourselves, still fighting the truth of ourselves, our divine identities, where many of us fought through the illusions, that Seven of Cups, the delusions, the obsessions, the addictions. We fought through those delusions and illusions about ourselves to get through victoriously to the other side, because we believed that the sun was shining beyond the clouds, ultimately. And it still is, and it always will be. The sun is everlasting. It will always be here. But where will you be? Will you be on this side of the gate, experiencing life abundantly, thriving, prospering, producing, literally, being fruitful in all of your endeavors, living in the light of truth? The sun is the most positive card in the deck, the most prosperous and the most productive. And this is the ultimate goal. It came out in the last one too. So is that where you're going to be, or are you going to be outside of those gates, on the other side of the wall, on the outside looking in, looking at other people living the sun? Because undoubtedly, those that have sown a certain way are most certainly reaping the harvest in a plentiful produce, It's just happening. And those that have not are holding on to every penny, every dime, every energy they have possessed, with fear that they may lose themselves if they lose it. That's a completely different octave from abundance, eternal abundance, to eternal, I don't know, frugality. I'm trying to find a word. Y'all know how I be about the words. But, eternal frugalness, obsession even, and possession of material things. This is an energy that lives beyond the material. It lasts, whether the dollar is here today, gone tomorrow, the grass is still green, the sun is still shining, the rain is still nurturing, the babies are still being born, life is still happening. And here, beyond this is beyond the wall, and those city limits is exactly that, limited. This is all you can get, and you won't get no more if that's where your focus is driven, and where your focus lies. So feast your eyes on the light, the purest light of all, the highest life force of all, the energy of the sun in its physical form, but of course beyond that, not only in the universe, but even beyond your body. This is the energy that you possess and have access to. And I pray that you receive it fully and completely, internally, externally, and internally, in spirit and in truth. It is so it is. Till next time, peace.